Thanks for watching our video. We thought we'd take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about what it's like working as a psychologist in the Black Country. So, whether you're a trainee, newly qualified, an experienced practitioner, or maybe from another professional group, here are some experiences from our trust.
I think my experiences of working in learning disability services, it's a really supportive environment to work in. I think everyone's got a real passion for the client group.
What I really value about my role is the autonomy that I have to make, the ultimate diagnostic decisions that should impact people's care plan and get them the right level of support.
I'm a counselling psychologist and I've been working with the organisation for 14 years. I'm really grateful for the opportunities that I've had in the organisation. I've had lots of developmental opportunities.
Psychology in forensic services particularly, you're in a unique position where we can get involved in all the aspects of psychological work, whether that's training, education, supervision, direct work, group work.
It's really great to feel valued and to be able to contribute to different projects within the organisation and feel that you've made a difference.
We have occupational therapy, we have psychiatry, we have nurses, we have CBT therapists, we have social workers, lots of different people in the team, and it really feels like a true integrated
multidisciplinary service. We don't carry risk on our own, we share it.
You do really feel part of an integrated team, and there's value in every element of that MDT for that shared formulation, really, that the shared care planning and formulation and risk assessment is essential to helping that person flourish.
You're working with people who've lived their whole lives, and you're coming in, it's very different than you're working with someone in the early stages of their life who's trying to define themselves. So, it can be a real privilege from that perspective.
Our job is to help understand that risk, and then how do we help this person get them closer to a life that is free from violence, aggression, abuse. When we get it right, it's one of the most rewarding careers to have.
Psychologists are, I think, are an absolute vital, essential part of our MDTs and really excellent with the skill mix with medical staffing, nursing staffing, occupational therapy staffing, and also working very much with our partners as well, voluntary sector and social care.
I think we get quite excited at the thought of people kind of building lives for themselves outside of services.
It's very rewarding to see them giving their best in terms of engagement with our sessions.
It's about people finding lives that they love and building their recovery around that.
It's definitely a trust or a psychology group that I'm in that really promotes a work-life balance as well, more so than any of the trusts that I've worked in. You do your work, of course, you get the job done, but they also highlight the importance of well-being.
It's been an experience where I've had to sort of push myself out of my comfort zone and sort of learn new things and have new responsibilities that I'd never thought I would have. And that's been really helpful for me as a student to find my voice as something more than just a student. It's broadened my experience really well.
If I felt unsure about something, or I've even sort of felt that something was particularly difficult, there's always been somebody there to talk to, and there's always been someone there just to bounce an idea off of.
I like the fact that everyone's very easy to talk to, very friendly and down to earth. It's been really nice to see that, and that's made me quite comfortable settling in quite quickly.
I do feel really supported as part of my role. We're a big team of physical health psychologists. I think I'm lucky because there's a real ethos of sort of self-care and looking after each other.
We are a supportive team. We'll always make sure that we have your back when it comes to testing waters in uncharted territories.
There's a confidential counselling service and psychological service for the staff at any point they need that, and that's really easy to access, and certainly in the current environment when people are struggling.
So I developed a range of wellbeing workshops for staff across the site, so not just nurses but admin staff, our sort of domestic workers as well, and they were taken up really well.
And it's really practicing what we preach, really, that
values of compassion and kindness and respect. It's really important And it's really important that we carry those values with us, because if we carry those values with us, we can only ever do a good job for our service users, but also for each other.
I joined the physical health psychology team a couple of years ago now when I first qualified, and since then I've been really fortunate. There have been a lot of opportunities to learn and develop, so I've recently taken on my first trainee, which has been great. I've also been supported recently by management to deliver some teaching.
I think that being a part of the team has really helped me develop my interpersonal and team working skills, as well as my confidence, and that's definitely because of how openly we've been able to voice our ideas and concerns, as well as how closely everyone works together and supports one another within the team.
You have the option for developing your skills in an area that's of interest.
And I've also been offered a trust-funded place to train in EMDR.
I've been part of the Counselling Psychology Forum, where we share best practice ideas and support trainees during their learning as well. I have really good links with the local Counselling Psychology course at the university.
I feel that I'm given a lot of opportunities to develop some of the more complex competencies that are required for replacement. So that includes group work and learning different models such as passion-focused therapy and DBT.
We focus very much in trainee placements on developing trainees' leadership in terms of them taking on projects.
There are opportunities to be involved in leadership of junior members of staff, which includes placement students from undergraduate and master's courses, and also working in co-production with experts by experience.
It's been really apparent that we've got some really strong psychology leadership who are really there to advocate for us and just be there behind the profession, and that's been really valued and really important and just helps us to kind of retain our sense of identity.
And it's also been really valuable getting to work with such a vast range of therapeutic approaches, which has been really great because each new idea or approach that we have the opportunity to learn is another tool that you can integrate to help somebody's recovery.
From before, like being a placement student, I'm a completely different person. I think about myself, who I was in like lockdown or as a uni student, and who I am now, and it's a little bit scary, but it's exciting to know that I've changed as a person. I'm more out of my shell, and I just feel more like I can take on a responsibility.
One of the first things that really struck me was the focus on empowering sort of service users, and obviously as an occupational therapist, empowerment is one of our core values, and actually moving away from that medical model and more towards a sort of psychologically trauma-focused model, the focus being more so much on empowering people by upskilling them with coping strategies.
The place just has a real big focus on the idea of recovery, and as a clinical psychologist that was something that I was really looking for in a service to work for, so it's great to be part of that. We have the Recovery College right in the building.
I think our patient group and our client group are generally, they're obviously vulnerable adults and just generally can be sidelined in society. So I think people go into learning disability work with a real passion to advocate.
COVID's obviously hit everybody really hard, everybody for every service, but I think we've done particularly well actually. I think in the wellbeing service we were actually one of the teams that moved forward very quickly to doing things virtually like this, and actually we managed to do many virtual groups, and obviously as a CPN that enjoys doing groups and runs groups quite a lot, that was really good for me to see that we weren't stagnating.
It's just about thinking on our feet, making sure we quickly check the evidence base and make sure that actually we deliver the intervention irrespective of what obstacles come in the way.
It was necessary for us to be able to find new ways of working and ways we didn't even dream that we could have utilized before.
Despite what is happening around us in the world at the moment, that we still encourage innovation and we encourage new ideas, and we will facilitate the opportunities for our clinicians to try out new things and work with our quality and safety and our governance.
So we're not being left behind as a trust. We are foot and foot with technology. We are keeping a pace with technology and innovation. We found new ways of doing it, and it's worked.
The physical health psychology service that I work in has tried to be really flexible, and it's kept in mind the needs of staff, but also patients and accessibility.
Getting feedback from our clients is something that we really value, that we're really passionate about, and we're always keen to get thoughts and new ideas from the clients that we work with to see how we can improve things. And it's just great to be part of an environment that really values that.
One of my project babies is service user participation. So I led on the development of our own CAMS website, which wasn't created by the Trust, it was created for young people, by young people. So we got that up and running, and they were so proud. Some of them even got kind of college courses off the back of it, from kind of getting coding experience and stuff. And that service user group, that continues to run. It's called the CAMS Council, and we kind of run everything through them in terms of even just like leaflets or kind of therapy groups, and they feed back to us about the service, so there's a really good feedback loop.
So we've had numerous engagement events in the past. We had Dementia Open Day at Edward Street, where we bring all the third sector providers and the NHS providers together, because they never get to meet each other. These are some of the things I am quite passionate about. Also getting more service user involvement. I set up a dementia service user group.
There's a real ethos of taking on new ideas and evolving with change and trying to improve the service.
That's something that I like about this trust and this team. They're not rigid, they allow us to innovate and move on.
In the Black Country, you can actually see that everybody has their place to contribute, and it is taken on board. So you are valued as a psychologist in this trust.
Actually looking at the psychology around chronic pain, it's really interesting and gives you a different perspective.
We actually are quite well supported, and particularly through a method called reflective practice, and that's actually run by the psychologists in the team. And so it's a good opportunity for us to come forward with both issues that we're having as a team, but also it's a good place for us as CPNs to come up, to bring our ideas forward and actually come up with things that we find useful in our practice. Can we share them with everybody else?
It's been quite nice to learn from the psychologist what she needs to find out from the patient and how to give better care to our patient.
She really helps us to take a step back and really have a look at stuff.
It's nice to go to somebody that's they know what they're doing, because they do a lot of the same sort of role that we do, but they've got that wealth of knowledge, they've got that background behind them, and they sometimes look at things in a different way than we do.
And I really value the skills and support that those other individuals bring, and you know what, they're just like a fun bunch.
You can really see the difference that working together makes for our service users, and it's one of the most rewarding things and a reminder of why the psychologists will do what we do.
We are a team of very committed, passionate, driven psychologists, and both clinical and counselling psychologists, and we're a very diverse team as well. We're looking for passionate, committed, hardworking psychologists with creative ideas.
I certainly would welcome any applications of psychologists to an organisation which is going through a really, really exciting time.
It has a bit of a family feel to the trust. It's a compassionate trust, and it's a trust that you feel valued in.
And I would recommend the trust as a place to work.
I think the real soft spot that I've got for the Black Country and the areas that make it up, I think the idiosyncrasies and the real diversity across the region is just pulls me back, and I couldn't imagine working anywhere else.
It has a really, really strong identity as well, Black Country.
There's a real community feel and a real sense of being welcomed.
The team really is approachable, and it is really a warming team, and it feels like, honestly, I've been here forever. In a good way.